Hello, blessed be. Good morning. I wanted to come on here and talk about Teal Swan. How did I run into this conversation? I was scrolling through um, my FYP. No, I was scrolling through my follow list actually, and one of the people that I'm following posted one of her videos, and she was saying some pretty uh you know the stuff that she was saying was really kind of misogynistic. It was very, very demeaning to women, and it was promoting this codependency of women. um so if y'all don't know who Till Swan is, she is a well, the internet is describing her as a spiritual cult leader. They say that she is a cult leader. And the reason why is because I guess quite a few of her followers have committed suicide, and she encourages people to go ahead and end their life or something. Wow. So I was looking at it's like a documentary that she did though, and that's what caught my attention because I've heard about her before. Um, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of single moms out there were probably like, wow. Uh, so basically I wish I would have downloaded the video so that I could play it right now. But basically, in a nutshell, and I'm not quoting her verbatim, she was saying that you know, she was telling women they are a victim because society, is not supposed to be a one parent household, and that you know, if you have I guess if you're single, you oh, how did she say it? Oh, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Um she was saying that being a single mom is absolutely impossible. Oh goodness. And I wanted to come and give my commentary on her saying that. And first of all, hold on a second, guys. Okay. So first of all, I've been a single mother. I was actually a single mother of four. Still am a single mother. Okay. And I can honestly say, that because she was saying that, you take the man out of the picture and the woman falls apart. I can honestly say that that was never my experience. Um, and being a single mom was not difficult for me. Maybe it was because I, I did work all those years that I was a single mom, but I did have, uh, help financially that whole time. But see, here's the issue with what she is saying, and I get what she's trying to do. Okay, totally, I totally get it. But here's what I want to say. Single mothers are already too stigmatized. Okay, Single mothers become single for various reasons. It could be that the man is abusive. It could be that it just didn't work out. There's so many different reasons, and for her to put all of this lowered value on the woman. What about single fathers? So and keep in mind that people die, people go to prison, people leave, people walk out for whatever reason that they have. So what happens when a man is a single father? Does he fall apart? Why does somebody have to fall apart? And maybe it's because of the difference in cultures. Maybe it's because as a black woman, um, maybe black women possibly are a lot stronger than other races. I guess that could possibly be what it is. Here's the issue with that is that it's not very positive for her to put it's so here's my thing. I believe that she's been cursed. I do. The first thing that I said when I saw her and her mannerisms and everything is that, she has a curse on her. And for her to say something so utterly ridiculous, being a woman, saying this to other women, it's a projected curse. You're telling these women that if their husbands walk out on them, that their children are going to starve and that they're going to fall apart. And that's just not sisterhood. That's not how us women talk to one another and relate to one another. And so I recognize it as her having a curse on her. I do believe that that statement, those statements, because right now it's right now it's very controversial what she said, and I believe that this is going to be the beginning to the end of her career. Okay, I don't mean to go on. I'm not going to really go on extremes today, but I am going to bring up something as an example. But you know, um, I think that it's one of those unfortunate things that happen, um, and women have to pick up the pieces and keep it moving. I think that that kind of talk is dangerous. I think that this is how kids get lost in the system and taken advantage of. And I think that it is very, very dark of her to say that. And I think the reason why she is projecting this is because it may be a part of her own experiences with her mother. It may be a part of her own experiences. I don't know if she has children, but most of us single mothers, um, we we do not feel like we are lost without a husband. And I think that for her to open herself up to so much backlash, because trust me, she's getting backlash because of that, because of those statements that she made. Um, and it didn't feel like an attack when I heard her say it. It felt more like she's going through something, probably some kind of midlife crisis. I don't understand why people go through a midlife crisis and all of a sudden it's all about single motherhood. I would like to know what is her experience as being a single mother. And to already have society, first of all, I want to say this straight up and down that most single mothers do not want society feeling sorry for them. For what? Feel sorry for us for what? Now, that doesn't mean that we should have the other, which is society bullying us. And I think that somebody as big as her in social media, she's got what, 1.4 million followers. I think that she may want to tread carefully with saying things like that. But I think it's already too late. She already said it, and she said that people were not going to like it. That's that is basically throwing the kids away. That you might as well just throw out the baby with the bathwater for her to say something like that. It's the last thing that any younger, especially younger single mom needs to hear. Because at the end of the day, that child only has the mother at that point. And when you tell women that they're going to fall apart without a man, that makes me question your sanity. Okay. Now, I believe she does have a curse on her. And she's been talking about generational curses. But I believe that somebody's trying to ruin her, honestly, because, that's the most ridiculous thing to say. Um, a lot of these children, if they don't have their father there, they at least have their mother. And that's the reality of it. It's called reality. And my children are 23, 22, and 21 years of age. And then I have a 10-year-old. And I think that if a relationship does not work out with the father, I think that her statements could possibly pressure single mothers into dating somebody that may or may not be good for her children. And I think that it sets like this expectation um, that is not real. I've noticed a lot of people in social media talking about things that are not real. I mean, it- you know, I don't understand why people in social media want to pretend that they are a relationship guru. Nobody should be claiming that they are a relationship guru. Nobody. And I'm trying to figure out, what does she base this on? Um and if she's supposed to be a spiritual leader as well. Wow. I'm absolutely speechless. I think that's something that's very important as human beings, is our communication. And her communicating that to her audience is very harmful, because it weakens women. And so now women are looking at single motherhood as toxic independence. Oh, wow. And so I guess the question is marriage about image? Is it about being a nuclear family? Is it about just gender roles? I mean, what is it about? Is it about love? Is it about having a man that can take responsibility? What are these relationships based on? Are they based on actual love, or is it just I need a man so I don't fall apart? If you're sitting if it, you know, if you're with your children, or you what single mother out there do you know that's actually thinking about, as we have our vibrators and stuff in our nightstands, how many of us are actually thinking about being with a man simply so that she won't fall apart? Who does that? No, nobody thinks about having a man in their life from that perspective. So you're supposed and it was such a unfair generalized statement. I think that who you know whatever curse or spirit that's in her, her mannerisms have gotten a little masculine, in my opinion, and I think it was very misogynistic. Says no woman ever been sitting at home watching a movie with her children saying, "Oh, I got to have a man before I fall apart." And like I said, there could be cultural differences, possibly, which is why I don't agree with what she said, because I am a black woman. Black women, I guess a lot of us are expert single moms. Um, going off the deep end a little bit with this conversation. Have y'all noticed the increase of women with children leaving abusive relationships and being murdered? As as a woman, I like men. I like having relationships with men, but I think that if there is not a man that fits that bill, and men can feel the same way if they want, if there's not a woman that fits the bill that they meet, I guess, at that time, why what is up with the obsession with that, and why do they treat single parents like second class citizens? It's totally ridiculous. And sometimes, I mean, don't we all wish that we were the cheerleader in high school, and don't we all, wouldn't it be nice if we married the a football player in high school or whenever you got out of school, and y'all just been together for 20 or 30 years. That's so nice, but unfortunately, and not even unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. That is not always the story. And I think that single motherhood is such a sensitive topic that you have to be careful with it. You have to be very careful. These are people. not numbers, not social security numbers, not birth certificates, not chattel. These are people. These are babies and children and women with feelings. These are children who are experiencing life and they're trying to live. And then you come in with this toxic information and tell them that their family is apparently broken. Where does that leave these children? While society is constantly attacking single mothers that are not married, where does that leave these children? So, my synopsis is that Teal Swan is factually cursed. She's got a demon inside of her. It's okay to be satanic. Y'all know how I am. There's definitely a demon inside of her. And that demon apparently does not like women. Women should be empowered. They should be, because what choice do you have? What choice do you have? So, what is she telling women, that they should sit at home and be miserable? Oh, you must be miserable without a man. Well, I'm just living life. I'm working and living and trying to make it. And it's so inhuman. That's why I say that she's cursed, because the energy is very inhuman. Can you imagine having a child, carrying that baby for 9 months, the relationship not working out with the father, and everybody expecting for you to fall apart? Everybody telling you that your child that you love is getting a second class life because its father is not there. I and it's, to me, it's all a part of this rigged reality and this evil that's constantly trying to do harm to women and children. I think that Teal Swan owes an apology to every woman and every child for saying that. And I think that if women were looking for some kind of refuge, they wouldn't find it in her. Not with that statement that she made. So she basically told women that you got to be miserable without a man, and your life is crap and you can't make it, even though there are tons of women out there that earn enough money to take care of their families. And what is society constantly trying to do? Kick us down. They kick and they kick and they kick and they kick and they beat us up emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, until they can't kick us anymore, until we're down, until we are down and fighting with a system that works against us and doesn't protect us to begin with. So she's definitely cursed and possessed by something. And as a woman, I couldn't imagine ever saying that to another woman. This woman has 1.4 million subscribers. It's an agenda. You can't, I mean, look at what I've went through. 20, 30 years ago, women could raise single mothers, could raise their children in peace, I guess. All four of my children, I have great children and a very intelligent grandchild. Okay? Love my family. I can't imagine. But as a woman, you have to hold down the fort. If that man is not there, you have to hold down the fort. You cannot be weak like that because and you know what? I remembering and thinking back to when my children were younger, especially my three older one. You used to watch Teal Swan, Ashley. But thinking back to when my children were younger, and they were rambunctious. They could turn my house upside down in 5 minutes, and it was very joyous for me. If I needed them to sit down, I say sit down and let's watch a movie. And then I remember when my kids were younger, and I would sit them down and have them meditate, and they can tell you that, like, and I was real particular about them having too much sugar because of course sugar would make them kind of hyper. It would hype them up. And so I went through this whole thing with the school system to where I didn't want them giving my kids a bunch of sugar. And so I would pack lunches for them to go to school. And I just remember being so happy and blessed that all of my children were safe. Of course, I was leaving an abusive relationship. My daughter, who is my mini me, almost died from being hit by a car at 5 while she was in her father's care. I couldn't have asked for better kids that, just, and I was so happy that they were safe. And that's all I cared about was their safety. And to have somebody tell you that there's something wrong with that, or that your family is broken. It's very hard. This is one of the reasons why I have a problem with society. This is one of the issues that I have with society is the constant abuse and assumptions and prejudices. I felt like a lot of women looked at her and said, "Huh? What did she just say?" Trust me, if you're a mother, it doesn't matter if you're single or not. If you're falling apart as a spiritual leader, it don't have nothing to do with your status of being single or not. Mothers fall apart sometimes even with the father there. So if you're falling apart, that's not you being single or with somebody. That's something else. Something else that she probably doesn't recognize. And that's why I told y'all that the wisdom of the witch has been lost. Now, she's, again, a spiritual guru, supposedly. But, if anybody's falling apart, I'd say that if it's not their own brainwave activity, then perhaps it could be spiritual attack. Perhaps it could be what's wrong with her, which is a curse. She's cursed. I could tell by looking at her, it's written all over her face that she has a curse on her. And something has a really strong hold on her. And I can tell you that her career is getting ready to go down just for saying that. And it's not about an agenda to tear apart the family. No, that's not what that's about. It's about, hey, sometimes mothers are single, whether or not it's for a little while or a long time. Leave these mothers alone, support them, and help them, but don't demean them. Don't demean single moms. If I were to have a conversation with a single mom, I would tell her, I would say, you are strong enough to get through this. Appreciate the fact that your children are safe. You are a good mom. You are doing the best that you can. You are powerful. You can do this. You don't tell single moms that they're going to fall apart and that their children are going to starve. So, I don't know why I ran across that, but it needed to be said. It did. And there's other stuff. There's other stuff that she's not considering when she's saying that. 9 times out of 10, if you have a couple of children with a man, he's gonna hang around. I know that mine did until he passed away a few years ago. And it's you can't really do anything socially, right? It makes it difficult. The father can sometimes make it difficult. So I think it depends on who you're talking to. Okay? I think it depends on that. And it's a spiritual thing to where most single mothers, they have a hard time with dating anyway. And it is when divorce, it is a time of sacrifice. Most of us women that either divorced or broke up with the father, sex and men and relationships was the last thing on our mind. In fact, I was celibate for 10 years. I didn't care about that. I didn't care about sex. What I cared about was making sure that my children were housed and fed, and that they had a mom that loved them, that, constantly reassured them that I loved them. That was my concern, not a man and whether or not I was going to fall apart without a man. I thought it was very sexist. Women can be sexist for her to say that. I'm sensing a male spirit on her, is what I'm sensing. It was very sexist. Would you say the same thing about a man if he were a single father? Nope. You're only saying that to the woman because you're assuming that women are weak. And yeah, trust me, I've been through being attacked as a single mom, attacked. So I don't know why I kind of took it personally, especially in social media. I came to social media to share my ideas and my children, I've been taking them out of social media, taking them off of social media. No, because of the bullying and harassment. Okay. How are we going to create a better future if we keep subjugating women? So that's what it is. You're sort of forced. to be in a relationship and you can't make it, your life is over. You can't have anything. It's just all bad for you women. Basically, you're screwed. Is basically what they're saying. And it's awful. It's awful. You know, and I'm gonna tell you something. Most of the single parent households that I have seen and the single mothers that I have seen that were not on drugs or having some sort of issue like that, they were very happy. Very just happy. It's what's wrong with being happy and not fitting in to this cookie cutter of a life? Why do they keep doing this? And that's the problem. It's a huge problem. I don't want to be in a relationship with a man because I'm forced to do it. I want to do it because I want to. And why is there an assumption that women are weak without a man? Why do men assume that? Also, and it just, for me, guys, it's like living in a world of people who are possessed in psychosis. That's literally what it looks like to me. You know, and to the point where does she have any idea that single moms are usually at the end of everybody's bullying? I've gotten bullied the past decade in social media just because I was a single mom. How can you justify that? And if I were weak, oh, trust me. And yeah, they broke everybody else down around me, but they didn't break me. I've been shamed and casted out, judged, channel flagged, disrespected, told that I was a welfare mom, even though I've always worked. My business torn apart, torn down, attacked. What is the issue? Single motherhood is not the problem. The problem is spiritual ignorance. That's the problem. You know how many households right now that have two parents in them that are going through hell right now? You think that just because there's two of them that makes a difference? They're still going through it. So I don't even know what to say, especially being that there are so many households that do have a single mother in it. Why is poop and mud being thrown at these households? Why? Why is that? Why is there a judgment and a side eye? Why? Why is it that a mother has to explain? You know, I just, and I think that when society is doing things like that, they're not thinking about the children. They love their stereotypes and their statistics. They're not thinking about the children at that point. They're thinking about, I have to judge. That's what they're thinking about. They have to make a judgment. Why? Why do you have to make a judgment? For what? I've had people tearing at the fabric of my entire being. It, I, it just, as a mother, I'm going to tell you something. You can defy all the odds, and you have every right to make it in this society with or without a man. I can promise you that. I have nothing against the relationships of people that have, oh, we've been together for 40 years. And I actually am subscribed to a lot of couples. If you are a single mother, you have every right to defy what they are trying to tell you. Your children can make it in this world. You can make it in this world. And I'm going to tell you what it is. It's a conspiracy, in my humble opinion. I feel it's a conspiracy, a total conspiracy against the woman and against children. If we do not keep our mothers intact, these kids are being lost out there, trafficked, eaten. It's awful. So, that's where I stand on that. That's where I stand. I can honestly say this because I was a single mother. I raised four children. And I do come from Generation X. A lot of us Generation Xers were single moms for some reason. Okay. It is what it is. This is harmful. What upsets me is single moms are trying to take care of their kids, whether she's doing well or receiving assistance. Why are people coming for single moms? I am sorry. This is heartbreaking. It is, Ashley. It is. It is. And they will do everything in their power to tear you down, which is why I have a strict policy of cursing people that do that to single moms. I'm a witch at the end of the day. They want you. It's like, oh, you're not going to conform to these societal norms. You don't matter. You don't count. You're garbage to them. And I think that the world is disgusting for doing that. I looked at a video of a woman that survived an honor killing by her family. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. The way they treated this woman. Not only was she almost killed, but she was raped. She was trafficked by her own family. I just, guys, I listen. One thing I can tell you about Goddess is that I feel, from what I have been told, that as a woman, us women, we should not have to keep going through things that we don't want to go through. We are being forced. Women are slaves in this society, and Bette Midler said it correct. She said it correct, and they shut her up because of that. And for me, being in a relationship is not about a social status either. If I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody, it's because I love them, not because I need them, not because I'm needy, but because I love them. Okay. Like this is like I don't, I don't even know what to say about what's happening, and then also the way that we're treated. Okay. And I was actually going to come on here and talk about the way renters are treated. Renters, people that rent houses and apartments, or especially people that rent houses, goodness gracious. But there is a difference between a single renter and a married renter. The energy is different. It hits different. It's so demeaning. They've got to have somebody to kick down. I believe that she is narcissistic. She probably is. A lot of people are accusing her of that. I just feel that she's cursed. And she needs some help. That statement for a woman, if you see a woman attacking another woman that's a single mother, that's a cry for help. That person is cursed. Something is wrong. Or they're just a diabolical evil person for you to give that kind of energy to the women of this world. You can't even get away from stories and pictures of women constantly beat up and killed. And so these women are dying out here in the streets just so that they can please a society that just wants to kick us down. They're dying. Women are beaten, raped. This society is totally turned to crap. It's totally turned into crap, y'all. And that's why I always encourage the craft. I do. I encourage it because it's really the only thing women have left to sustain us. And they even attack our businesses. They are attacking the witches that are trying to help the women. And they better stop. Okay. I said stop it. Now, that's not to say that I'm saying that you should be single the rest of your life. No, but how do you how do you obtain a partner and fall in love when society is telling you that you have to do it, otherwise you're going to fall apart? I mean, let's face it, how many women want to date a man that's falling apart, and how many men want to, oh, I'm falling apart. You know what I mean? That doesn't even make any sense. As far as like getting families back together, there's nothing wrong with that. I have a lot of women that come to me that want their baby fathers back, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. But if it is your choice to be a single mother, society needs to shut up and leave you alone. They need to shut their mouths. Maybe you were in an abusive relationship with a person and you left for the kids so that they wouldn't have to witness that kind of abuse. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's personal. Maybe people need to quit being so nosy. Does every woman have to explain herself? And then we'll talk about generational curses. How can you talk about generational curses, Teal Swan, when you are clearly under one? To be saying those kinds of statements to women with children, you're putting children on the line. You're basically cursing children and their mothers. That's basically what she did. And I don't like it. I don't like that statement. I'm not saying that I hate her or dislike her, but this is the kind of, this is, I mean, you want to know what's wrong with society, it's that attitude right there. especially if you split up from the father of your kids when they're 5 and under. You know, I remember when my children, they were stair steps. They were 3, 4, and 5 years old. Trust me, the last thing I was thinking about was going out on a date. That was the last thing I was thinking about. I was thinking about getting up and going to work in the morning and taking my kids to preschool and daycare. That's what I was thinking about. And yeah, the social aspect was there. I socialized with a lot of people. Yes, it was definitely there. But as far as an intimate relationship, that was something that I sacrificed. And you know what? I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it, you know? And that's why women, I think that when you are a woman and you have empowered yourself, and society decides, oh, let me knock you back down because you're not supposed to be doing well without a man. And that's exactly what they will do to you. Exactly. When I moved into my home, it was awful. It was awful the way people in social media treated me. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And, you know, I just leave these kids and their mothers alone. Goodness gracious. You know what's crazy is that they'll be outraged about that, but they have nothing to say about all of the other evils in the world, like the fact that America is losing the war with the cartels as far as them sneaking fentanyl into the country and people are dying left and right because of fentanyl poisoning. Oh, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about domestic violence. They don't want to talk about how domestic violence increased during the pandemic. They don't want to talk about those things. Ashley Rose, yes. I wouldn't say that it was you'd have to see it, and what I'll do is I'll link you the video, and I almost want to go and get the video and come back and let y'all hear what she said. I almost want to do, you know what? I can actually, I mean, it probably, the sound quality won't be as good. Hold on, Ash. I'm going to pull this up real quick. I'm going to see if I can find it, and I'm going to see if I can let y'all hear it. Um, Give me a second, guys. Here we go. I'm still in my search. Okay. I'm going to turn this up kind of loud so y'all can hear it. Be aggressive because nobody wants to hear this. Because what you want me to say today is actually being a single mother is totally possible. It actually isn't. It was never meant to happen for the human race, number one. Number two, single biggest determiner of whether a mother is a good mother. What do you think it is? This is going to blow your mind when I tell you the answer. Whether they have a supportive partner. The major argument for good dads is actually, can the dad be there for the mom? Because it's like a direct chain is what we see. What you see is that if you've got a father figure basically who's supportive to the mother's energy goes towards the children. But the second that she doesn't have that supportive energy, she collapses, is what happens. And then the kids get starved. And we're not actually supposed to be living in a single family household, so it's supposed to be a lot more support towards mom than just dad. But I'm going with standard societal structure. You are a victim of a society that was never meant to work this way. Okay. Be aggressive because so there's a lot of problem with what she said. And I can imagine that a lot of single mothers. Were y'all able to hear that? The father gives his energy, which he can do that. He doesn't necessarily have to be in the same home to do that. But she said the father gives his energy, and then The mother gives that to her children. That's not the way motherhood works at all. I'm curious if she has children. So in order for you to give your children energy, there's got to be a man there giving you his energy. That's totally not the truth. And I'm wondering if she has kids. Does she have babies? Because, yeah, that's definitely idea. Who wants to sit up here? Nobody wants that. But sometimes it should be the impossible task of everybody. Like, so it kind of it's kind of like, wow. You know what I mean? And the title of her video is The Impossible Task of Being a Single Mother. And I can tell by her mannerisms, if you actually look at the video, she looks possessed to me. She looks like she's getting ready to collapse. And she's just projecting that to single mothers. She herself is getting ready to decline. You can tell by looking at her. Why is it that society projects all of their crud to single mothers? They do. Every bad thing that's wrong. I believe that she's going through some stuff. You can tell by her mannerisms, the way that she's bending forward and touching her nose. You can tell I'm sort of a body language expert a little bit. You can tell she looks very nervous. She looks very tense. She's collapsing on her own. And see, it's attitudes like that that has led to years and years and years of stalking and harassment, which, by the way, our justice system does nothing about it. No respect, disrespect, disregard, attacks, and bullying. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that she attacks single mothers. I'm not saying that. It is an attack, to be honest with you, but it was more so of a oppressive nature. You understand what I'm saying, Ashley? You know, it was demeaning to a lot of single mothers, and not just black single mothers. I can imagine that all single mothers were kind of like, what? And she's saying this at a time where over in Florida, they have outlawed alimony payments. They've outlawed it. So you as a woman, what are you going to do for money? What are you going to do? You're going to starve. You're going to be homeless. You're going to be out on the streets because a man won't give it to you or can't. It makes no sense. And I've been talking about this for years. I have been talking about this for years. So, what are the single mothers supposed to do? Are them and their children supposed to die in the streets? Is that what society is saying? What are we supposed to do? I'm going to tell you what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to see through the bull crap. They look at us as second class citizens, right? Oh, so that means that if you go on a job interview, they want to know if you're a single mom, right? Because surely if you're a single mom, you're going to be less reliable of an employee, right? Wrong. You know, in any situation. And this is the kind of stink attitude people bullying. Society is literally sacrificing almost single mothers and their children. You're the sacrifice. because I mean, along with the gays, along with gay people, okay, you're basically being thrown out there. And when you come to YouTube, let you be a single black mother. Let you be a single black mother. Black men are gonna attack you and call you a whore. This is what I'm talking about. This right here. I'm gonna tell you something. God doesn't like it. And God is gonna get these people. It's no. So as a woman, you're supposed to just get beat up, shot, killed, die, starve to death because you don't have a man. And it's not the single women, it's just the single women with children. They want to use your children as sacrifices, is what I'm telling you. That is one of the reasons why I've been pushing for the pacts with Lilith, because that is a lot of people. And it seems like she's trying to give off Lilith vibes, but it's not. That is horrible. That is disgusting. And that is the generational curse. I remember when I lived in my hometown, everywhere I went, I would just hear a baby crying. I don't hear that anymore. It would just be a baby crying. It wasn't any of my babies, you know what I'm saying? Because they had gotten older by then. We are literally watching society suffer the children, and nobody does anything about it. Nobody cares. It's disgusting. They do not want to allow women to just be empowered. Leave us alone. And they'll lie, they'll spread rumors, they'll attack you, they'll disrespect you, just and your children. They'll attack your children in society. Certain areas of society have nothing to say. They have nothing to say about this. It's okay. It's just a single mother. It's just children who have feelings. It's just who cares? They don't care about how it feels when you run a business that functions and everybody and their mama tries to tear it down, tries to tear down your image, flag your channel, destroy your business, and you manage to get your kids some Papa John's, and you watch your precious baby eat that pizza, and you thinking about society and what they're actually doing. Stand up. That's all I can say is stand up and stand your ground as a woman. And you know what? They won't leave you be. Hey, why don't you? Hey, why are you worried about whether or not I'm single right now? There's an agenda there. There's an agenda. Oh, you're so concerned about me being single right now, but what if I meet somebody in a couple of years? No, you're single right now. So your children, let's make sure that they are all ready for sacrifice, for slaughter. It's disgusting. This is what I've been talking about for years. And we cannot have this kind of standard when it comes to women. This is one of the reasons why I do what I do. I have been in positions. I am and everybody just kind of says suffer the children. Oh well, you know, it's disgusting. And then they tell women, oh, get on welfare, get on section 8, so we can totally just be subjugated and mistreated. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting because they want you to pass down generational poverty to your children. Can I leave a section 8 voucher to my kids? No, I'm going to buy a house and nobody's going to stop me. I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to make sure I got stocks and bonds for my children when I leave this earth. And I don't care. You know what? A man is the last of my, I don't, you know what? I can fall in love with a man and love a man and care about a man. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. What I am going to do, I don't care what position I'm in right now. I can promise all of my babies, all of them, that when I leave this earth, I'm leaving a will, I'm leaving life insurance, I'm leaving houses, I'm leaving a legacy to my children. These people are not going to force generational poverty on to my family. I refuse to do it. You can't leave a Section 8 voucher to your children when you pass away. And this is the same thing, the same thing. I started my company when I was about 36, 37 years old. That's about the age a person would start a business. That's about, and it was a game of let's tear her down. It is disgusting. And you know what? They're vampires too. That's what I'm getting. They're vampires as well. Okay. Feeding off the blood of children. And this is the kind of society that none of us, the last statement that she made, oh, you've been set up in a society, something that she said, no, what I'm watching you do is the society that I don't like. Because it takes a person's current situation, stigmatizes them, totally tries to tear them down from limb to limb. And it is because these people are vultures. Why do they attack women with children? I'm going to tell you why. Because God blesses those children. You know what they do? They give you a $200 a month welfare check while they literally consume you and your family. This is something that I realized a long time ago, and they're doing it systematically. Why do y'all think that I always say that I'm a sovereign citizen? I don't like society when they do stuff like that. Now I don't know if maybe because she gets, she has over 1 million subscribers. Maybe perhaps she wanted to increase her views because a lot of her views get like 94,000, views, and some of them probably get more depending on what clickbait she puts on it. But we have got to stop. I'm gonna tell you something. Social media is shaping everything, and it's shaping the world. These people are saying these inflammatory things just for attention. But what they don't realize is that they are making it harder. They are making it harder for the citizens of the United States. So as a woman, society has an expectation for you to collapse. A man abandons you, it's over. I don't go by those rules in my life. But you know what? Society said, nope, we're going to make you go through it, Jamila. A man is not validating you. Up, shut down your business, shut down divine services. It's over, you know? And so oh God, no empathy whatsoever, completely in a psychosis. A lot of these people are completely in a psychosis. And unfortunately, the world that we live in, they don't care about your babies. They don't. You got to be, like I said, as a parent, you are the first line of defense for those kids. No matter if you're a single father or a single mother. Now, funny, single fathers, boy, they are cherished. They are treated well. They are respected. Why is that double standard there? That's a double standard that shouldn't be there. They treat single fathers like gold and treat single mothers like garbage, and it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Hello, Black Karma. Good morning. So I just, I believe that she's possessed, and I believe that she's on a verge of a meltdown. You guys wouldn't believe what I'm going through right now. You wouldn't even be able to tell what I'm dealing with right now. You probably, unless unless I've told you what I'm dealing with at the current present moment, you wouldn't even believe it, because I'm standing my ground and I'm standing strong, you know, but I can promise you that, it is a case of slumminess and sort of like a kickback of the pandemic, you know, as for, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's just, it's sick. It is. These people need to get help. Okay. Yeah. So, my heart goes out to all of the single mothers out there and your children. um you know I pray and I hope that you guys find a good man that's going to come into your life and treat your children well, and treat you well, and treat you like a queen. But you know what, it's give yourself time to heal. Don't feel like you have to be forced to do that, because you can make it out here. You just have to believe in yourself. Okay. You just have to believe in yourself and ignore things like that, because you're living in a world where a lot of people are possessed. Like, when I look at most of the men on this planet, most of them are under a possession psychosis, by entities that are against women and children. So as a woman, you're almost you're in a position of attack. And yeah, I do believe that that was an attack. It was said, it was very nicely worded, but it was very demeaning. And it is a controversy about it. There are a lot of people that are agreeing with her. Um, I think that it depends on the person. I think that people need to quit making generalized statements. Yeah, there were hard times when I was raising my four, my three, before my youngest son came into this world. There would be times when my kids would be, I mean, they would be climbing the walls, boy, they just be all over they just, like I said, they were very rambunctious. And being that back then I was dealing with attacks, spiritual attacks, even back then, and just people talking about me, people, I was encouraged to leave my daughter's father, and then as soon as I left him, people kind of turned against me. It was very weird. But anyway, and there would be times when I would go in the bathroom and I would just take a bath and just get some time alone. You know what I'm saying? But otherwise, I was happy to be a mom. I was happy, and then also being the experience that I had with my Deja, um, literally almost being killed when she was 5, does tend to change your perspective, because if you go through something like that, you're going to cherish your kids and hug them even closer. You're going to cherish them. So, and I'm not saying that God, I'm not saying that something needs to happen to people, kids, for them to appreciate them, but maybe that's why I come from that perspective. But I think that most mothers, I felt that way before that. Okay, I felt that way before that. And, I just think that, these people are possessed. And Teal Swan, that I believe that statement, to me, I never watched her anyway, but to me, that got her canceled in my book. And I don't think that that is the correct energy to be in. It's not. It's not. And if you're a single mom and you're tired and all of that, look at and consider other things that could be wrong. And because I talk to, I have married clients and single clients that have children, and sometimes they're tired, they're being spiritually attacked, and why is everybody ignoring what's really going on here? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I will catch you guys later. Y'all have a good day. I hope that she finds her way, because I can just see it being like these curses around her, and she already has a lot of people that don't like her, which is probably the source of the curse. I didn't curse her. I'm just saying that I can tell that she's cursed, and that's very self-destructive, because most women are going to say, let me tell you something, if I have to be a single mom, I'm not going to collapse. And it just, we got to stop this. We got to stop it. Okay, we do. It's a slick way of them pushing women into a lower class. It's a slick way of doing it, and I'm not buying it. Okay. All right, guys. Y'all have a good week. I will see y'all later. Sending love vibes out for y'all to find y'all a man. A good man. So I feel like most of the men on the earth are just scum. I do. And that's of any race. So it's like, what? So I got to be forced to be with that? Like, really? A lot of women are looking like that. Like, half of them ain't no good to even be with anyway. Stop it. You know? Yeah. Okay, guys. I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Blessings. Bye bye.